everyone. What a joy and a pleasure to be together again. Welcome back to our series on the modern face of immigration and migration. And today we are putting a face on that life here today. I'd like to welcome Patricia, Milky, and Monica to be here. Patricia has come from Ecuador. She has resettled here in the Twin Cities. And Milky is going to offer interpretation services for us. So we're going to hear Patricia's story in Spanish, and Milky will help us, those of us who haven't had to learn a second language, will help us to understand. So thank you all for being here. So, Patricia. So when did you decide that you needed to leave your land?
Buenos días con todos. Fue un día, bueno, primeramente tuve muchos problemas en mi país que ya no se puede estar por los problemas con la violencia y todo eso. Entonces tenía que dar el paso de buscar lugares mejores para mi familia y fue una decisión muy dura en salir de mi país, dejando a mi familia ahí. Y eso fue la decisión por ver bien a mi familia.
Good morning to everyone. Thanks for being here. Like I said, it was difficult for me to decide and leave my family back home. The reason that caused me to leave home was because of the violence and a lot of problems that are being in our country, which normally forces us to leave our country. So the violence is one of the principal reasons that I made to leave my country.
And when did that happen? When did you decide to leave?
El 22 de abril de 2023.
It was April 22nd of 2023.
Like 6 months ago.
Like 6 months ago.
Who, you say that you had to leave your family. Who did you leave?
Dejé a 3 hijos de un esposo.
I left my husband and 3 sons.
I'm so sorry.
Lo siento mucho.
What did that trip, what did you end up learning on that trip? What surprised you?
Aprendí que Dios existe en primer lugar. Y me trajo de muchos lugares, o sea, vine por lugares que yo nunca he conocido, pero he pasado lugares muy peligrosos, pero lo puedo. Aprendí que se pueden muchas cosas.
First of all, I learned that God really exists. I passed through many places that I have never been before, hard places, and I learned that everything is possible, even though no matter how difficult it is, everything is possible.
Would you like a glass of water? Yeah. Oh, would someone mind hopping up and grabbing a glass of water? Someone, thank you so much. And a Kleenex, please. I think we can all use a Kleenex. Thank you. So on that journey, where did you, first off, I can't imagine how hard that must have been.
No puedo imaginar qué tan difícil fue.
Where did you find hope to keep going?
¿En dónde encontrar esperanza para seguir tu camino?
Cuando crucé la selva de Colombia y Panamá, me dijeron que era muy peligroso. Logré cruzar eso y tuve esperanza de
When I first crossed the forest, I should say, between Panama and Colombia, Darien, it's called. Everyone told me that it was really dangerous. But the moment I crossed, it gave me hope.
So how did you get settled here in Minnesota?
¿Cómo fue que quedó ahí?
Bueno, llegué a un lugar que nunca me imaginé llegar. Primeramente me fui con una persona que era de Ecuador. Me sentí un poco tranquila porque estaba con personas de mi país. En el transcurso de eso, conocí en avión a las imigrantes, estoy conversando, pero un poco más segura con una persona que vive aquí.
When I arrived here, well, to the US, I should say, I felt comfortable because I had met some other people from my country, from Ecuador. So in a way, I felt comfortable and I thought I was safe. But on the way to Minneapolis, I met Anna. Anna is this person from the Camden Collective. So I thought it was like an angel in a way. So I felt it's like more comfortable knowing someone or meeting someone that is from this country originally.
And we are going to hear a little bit more about Anna and the Camden Collective in a few moments. But Patricia, could you tell us, you made it to Minneapolis and did all your problems disappear?
Y en realidad, cuando llegó aquí, sus problemas desaparecieron.
No. Era mágico, ¿verdad? No conocía a nadie, no tenía familia, no tenía una casa.
So the problems in that disappeared, like I said, now I think I had more problems because I didn't know no one here. I didn't have a family. I did not have a place to stay. So I should say I had more problems.
Do you feel safer here?
¿Te sintió más segura aquí?
Sí,
Yes.
And how did you get, how has the Camden Collective helped you?
¿Cómo la organización de Camden Collective te ayudaba?
me ayudaron, bueno, la directora es Ana, por medio de ella entré a, a esta organización por la cual ellos me ayudaron con comida, me ayudó conviviendo también, pues yo vivía con ella y me dio mi hora de trabajo.
So, organization or the director of the organization from Candid Collective is Anna, like I mentioned before. They helped me to get involved with the organization. They helped me get a job. Well, they gave me work at the organization. They gave me a place to stay. They gave me clothes. So they have given me a lot of shelter, I should say.
That's interesting. I'd like to go to Milky now. Milky, you're not just an interpreter here today, right? You want to tell us a little bit about your story?
Well, thanks for the time that you guys give us, Patricia, Monica, and myself to be here. I really appreciate it. And I hope the pastor said I'm not just an interpreter, I should say. I've been here in the US not for too long. I've been here for 4 years and a half, and maybe you might ask yourself like, how is he speaking English already? So, but it's like
It's really hard. It's really like,
yeah, I should say it's really hard, but thanks God and to my parents. I'm originally from Guatemala, but for some reason my parents got into the civil war. They had to move to Belize, so I grew up in Belize, and that's where I developed part of my skills I have with the English. Being here in the US has not been, I should say, easy, but as just as Patricia, that she had to leave her country because of violence and because of lack of job most of the time or opportunities. That's pretty much what happened to myself. That I really had to leave. I had no other option, I should say. I had to decide either just finish with the small amount of money I had in my savings account, I should say, and just start to see on a daily basis what to do with my family. I have 2 kids and my wife, or just try to get a better opportunity, which is like in March 2019, I decided all of a sudden that I had to make a really, really hard decision. Well, I left my family, my 2 kids and my wife. So pretty much I had to start moving to the US for some reason. I'm this type of person, I don't think much on things when I have to make decisions, if it's like a serious decision. So I've been here in the US, like how I say, 4 years and a half. When I arrived here, just like every immigrant, we don't have a place to stay. We don't have friends. We don't have family. But thanks God to my skills that I have, it was I should say, a bit easier for myself to start to get involved with the community. I remember I started as a volunteer with an organization which is not Canon Collective, but a different organization of a person I met in North Minneapolis. So yeah, I tried to do my best. I used to work on construction. I use asylum seekers, so pretty much, as you say, in a minute, if the immigration decides to just say, okay, your time is over, you need to go back to your country. Only God knows exactly when that's gonna happen. But I should say I'm getting prepared for that. I finally was able to bring my wife and my kids here, which was not an easy uh, procedure. She, when my wife moved to the US, and she surrendered to immigration. Unfortunately, she ended up with this remain in Mexico law. I'm not sure if any one of you know about it. So she was sent back to Mexico. She stayed in Mexico for 1 year and 10 months. So during that time, I had to pay 2 loans from the bank I had back home, which was money to get her here to the US. I had to pay my rent here, my food, everything. And I had to pay her house back in Mexico. The whole Patricia said this pretty much. This trip for us uh, proves us that God is real and He's the only one that can give us the strength. Because 1 year and 10 months with my wife back in Mexico and my two kids, it was not easy. I remember I used to earn just $150 a day, which only God knows it was a miracle how I did survive and I was able to maintain my family back in Mexico. So all this year and 10 months that my wife was in Mexico, she used to emotionally or mentally get affected. My youngest kid, unfortunately, they were gonna be kidnapped. So he had like, no, he has an eye problem because of this um situation they passed in Mexico. It's not been easy, but with the help of God and with the help of people, kind people that I have met in the US, person that I should say, we can still know that there's love in this world, even though it's difficult to sometimes believe that, especially nowadays that everyone is like one against each other. And especially with us, like immigrants that we are, most of the time it's like you're trying to find a job, you're not able to get a job, you want to rent out the house, they ask you for a huge amount of documents, requirements, and you're like, oh, I mean, I won't qualify to go rent out the house, right? So it's really difficult. I'm really grateful with Anna. She's the director from the Academy Collective. I started to do volunteer with her at the organization. And then she noticed that she realized that I knew English and Spanish. And that's where I actually met Patricia. I met Patricia and Anna asked me to help her interpret for her. So I was like, I should say, sometimes I believe I'm an angel in the tune of my community. With all this, I've been to hospitals, I've been to clinics, and it's difficult. It's heartbreaking for myself to see how Spanish speakers they are. It's difficult for them to communicate. Just that's a big barrier they have. So it's for myself. I'm really grateful with my current parents first of all, and with God that He gave me the opportunity to learn English and to be able to defend myself, I should say, in this country, or to actually um, learn how to communicate with other people. And that's one of the reasons I've been here. I've been working with a couple of organizations. I've been working with, I should say, I know it's difficult and I know I'm risking myself in a way because I've been working with other organizations trying to fight against the system. Where, thanks God, Patricia and I, we have the opportunity that we are here in the US, but we are not tracked by a GPS. That some of the immigrants here, when they arrive in the US, unfortunately, immigration sets a UPS, GPS on them, sorry. So it's called the electronic monitoring system on an ankle bracelet, where that it makes an immigrant life more difficult than myself and Monica. Because I should say now we are free to walk around wherever we want. We are not being tracked by anyone in a way. But I have met people during these years I've been here in the US that as an immigrant, it's just heartbreaking for me to see that we all have, we think or we believe in that the moment we arrive here, our life is going to be better in a way. And true, it's a lot better, I should say, guys. Our safety matters a lot. And that's one of the most things that we worry about, our safety, our family safety. But there is the opposite side of the truth. It's like you end up in a, I should say, in a jail where you don't know what to do. if you're not mentally strong, you get into depression. And who knows, only God knows up to what you can think anyone can end up doing. So I'm here, thanks God, once again. I'm doing my best to stand up for the rights of my community, the Hispanic community, and I'm willing to fight and work and do whatever it takes in order for myself to help in this small little thing that sometimes for many people sometimes it's like, oh, that's like nothing. But sometimes it's like just giving a cup of water, shelter to someone or something. Maybe for the person who is helping us, it might not be a lot, but for us in the situation, that's like saving our life. So that's pretty much I have for today to share with you. I really appreciate the time you're taking to listen to us and to everyone who is helping the immigrant community, not just Latins or not only Hispanics, but from all over the world. I'm really grateful with you all and may God bless you all.
Paul or Melanie, thank you for your work. Thank you for your presence, for your witness. Thank you for being here today. You have found a room full of people who love and care about you and your journey. And I don't know how we might be of support, but I can't imagine there's a soul out here who doesn't want to be supported. And so I am praying that this is not a great adult ed that we have, right? So meaningful, but is perhaps the beginning of a relationship. And maybe you can share some of this with Patricia too.
Conexiones o puertas que pueden abrir y que están de personas que nos apoyan, que no nos están abandonando.
Many of us don't know what it's like to cross hundreds of miles on foot. Or to give up our family. But we do affirm the worth of all peoples. And we've heard in this series how the United States government has gone back and forth on how we welcome and care for immigrants. And we also have a long history of supporting people seeking a better life. And providing sanctuary for people that our government have decided don't belong here anymore. So, and I want to turn to our last panelist here. Would you introduce yourself and your connection to the Camden Collective?
I'm Monica Colbert. I live in North Minneapolis. Anna is my friend for 5 or 6 years. I started knowing about her as we joined a neighborhood organization. The Weber Camden neighborhood boards, one of the 70 or so neighborhood boards in the city of Minneapolis. And it's just a way to sort of draw community closer and identify where gaps are, where can we help. So that was how I met Anna. And about 2 years into that friendship with her, she said one day, I think I want to start a food giveaway. She said, I think that's really important for people. in this neighborhood. And I said, go to Anna, just tell me how you want to do it. And so I helped as a volunteer, minor leagues for the Camden Collective. But the more I did it, the more I saw the faces coming in and asking for food, basic necessity. So we started with about 83 families coming in once a week on Saturday. And we held it outside through the rain, through the snow, with tents through the heat of the summer months. And Anna just scrounged around for food. And she was able to become a 501c3, so she could order food through the Department of Agriculture, like 2,000 pounds of potatoes for $18. I had the privilege of putting on gloves and being in the line of like 20 volunteers that we have on Saturday. And I enjoy being in the produce section, so I pick up a handful of potatoes. And I say, look at potatoes. And then I look at the person and say, Moss, you want more? And their eyes light up. That they can have more than 10 potatoes. It's an amazing experience. So Anna found out that she needed a rest. She had to go, and she had some friends on the California coastline. So she went on a solo vacation for like 3 or 4 days. And she ended up flying back from San Diego on the very day that Patricia was on a plane to Minneapolis, and they met in the airport. All right, Patricia had met a family as she made that horrendous journey from Quito, Ecuador, her home, to the United States, to San Diego, crossing through the immigration. And they were going to Minneapolis. And she said, could I go with you to Minneapolis? These are the kinds of decisions Patricia was making on her journey. She had no idea where she was coming to the US. And they said, well, sort of. Okay, yes, you can join us. And because they had a home, they were going to Minneapolis. That home was a 3-bedroom house in southeast Minneapolis, very close to the University of Minnesota. Huge influx of people in and out. I worked at the U for 33 years. I loved the U. I was infuriated in my retirement 7 years later from the university that I heard that this was a coyote house. Which is all right, my gift to you today is the August 3rd, 2023 paper, Star Tribune. Patricia is on the front page. And we also have an on display in the back. I would really encourage you to go back there and read it. And I'm going to leave one copy of this for you to choose. I had always been aware of the immigration and the need for immigrants to come to the USA. And I was reading it, about it, and that was about as close as I got until I started working with the Camden Club. We now serve over 240, 50 families per week coming in to get a few potatoes and a week's worth of milk, eggs, meat. And Anna has grown this program. And it was through Camden Collective as a volunteer that I saw that Anna had her arm around Patricia. And that's when I heard Patricia's story. And Anna had some repairs for her home that were going to take place, and it meant it was an asbestos removal. It meant that everybody had to leave the home. And this was about 3 weeks or so after Patricia had entered the US and had gotten to Anna's house. What happened with that coyote house was that Patricia needed a mattress. There were 5 people in her bedroom. She was one of 5, and they were sharing one mattress. So Patricia asked Anna, can you help me find a mattress? And Anna said yes. And Anna delivered, because she's good at that. And Patricia told the man in charge of that house, who was giving them fake social security cards and fake green cards and telling them to go out and find work. And if anybody has a fake social or green card, they are automatically deported. Automatically. Well, so Anna started talking with Patricia and said, maybe you could come live with me. And Patricia said yes. And she told the man at the coyote house, how long were you there? 2 or 3 weeks? 10 days. She told the man that she was not going to pay $800 a month. And that she was going to take her mattress with her, more than anything. And he said no. And what did Patricia do?
Yo dije a Mary y Ana, me vienen a pedir porque tenía que pagar un dinero que no tenía.
I called Melky and Anna and just told them to please help me to leave this house that I was supposed to pay out money that I didn't have in my pocket, since they were charging me $800 monthly, with 5 people living in the same room. And that they did not include my utility, that was something separate.
There were 22 people in that house. That's infuriating. I just so 22 people. That is a coyote house. The Star Tribune wrote the story, and it was a very powerful story. And Anna told them that they had to power it down because it was too much, too dangerous, which was. So when you read the story, there's so much. But the bottom line is, Anna had to have some repairs to her house. So I said, Patricia could stay in my spare bedroom downstairs. And that's how I am helping Patricia.
Thank you. Thank you so much. As a pastor, I just want to call that coyote house sin, if I can. That is a sin against humanity. And I'm sorry you had to deal with it. And I'm glad you're out of that. And I want to recognize how we all came to be here today. Though he might not want me to, David Bosselman, sitting right over there. Hi, Dave. Hi. Read that article in the newspaper and came to me and said, hey, maybe we could do something with this. because this is a powerful story. And I said, you know, we're doing this series on immigration. He said, oh no, I didn't know that. And if you want to talk about God is real and the Spirit is real, I'm living it and witnessing it right now. Because that little, hey, maybe we could do something with this, fit right into our series and has enriched it so much and given us a new opportunity to be in relationship and solidarity with people who are oppressed by systemic violence. So grateful you all are. We have about 15 more minutes, and I'd love to ask y'all, do you have any questions? I always open it up for a Q&A, and I have told them that if we get a question that's maybe not comfortable answering, that they are free to pass. So, yeah, what you got?
Are there plans for Patricia's husband and children to come over?
Are there plans for your family to join you? Yeah? Or just yes is fine.
Sí. Sí, mi idea es traer esos hijos. Es más, agradezco a Mónica porque mi hija pequeña de 5 años y mi esposo están en este momento entregándose a acá la migración de Estados Unidos porque le iban en Ecuador a secuestrar a mi hija la pequeña, teníamos que sacarla pronto. No tenía suficiente dinero, pero señora Mónica y Ana fueron las personas que me están ayudando a traer.
Okay. For the question, if she's planning to bring her family here, it's yes. Curiously, just today, my 5-year-old daughter and my husband, they are surrendering to immigration. Thanks to Monica and Anna, I didn't have enough money. But my 5-year-old daughter, she was about to get kidnapped. So it was urgently for us to move them from our country. And thanks to Anna once again and Monica, they helped me move my husband and my 5-year-old daughter, which I always say, they're surrendering to immigration just this morning.
Dang! Oh. Please let us know if we even exist in some way, even if you don't know what that is. If you're at the end of your rope, you don't know where to go, please reach out. Oh boy. So where do we go from here? Other questions? Other questions in the house? Yeah, Dave, the man who made this all happen.
What's the notorious Aryan gap like? Or the student have to respond during that?
Can you tell us a little bit about and give us some sense of what the Darien Gap is like?
fuera un poco explicación, un poco de cómo es la selva del Caribe.
Sí, lo puedo explicar muy bien porque lo viví. Es muy feo. En el transcurso del camino hay personas que no pueden salir, se quedan 3, 4, 5 días sin comida. Hay personas que también vi que se murieron ahí. Hay niños, se quedan sin zapatos. Se van en el río de Panamá, se mueren. Es muy duro, es muy feo. Hay personas que no pueden salir y se quedan muertos ahí.
Yes, I can explain it, and since I lived it, it's really hard. It's We have a lot of people who die on the way. People that might get stuck in the middle of the forest without food, water. They starve until that they have kids who die on the way. That they pretty much stay without shoes. They're not able to walk anymore. They fall into the river of Panama where they get drowned and they die. You can find dead bodies out. I don't know. It's really hard.
It starts with your story. For in the area.
So the Star Tribune story talks a little bit about that as well. It's one thing to hear it's so bad and hundreds of people die a year. But to imagine how they die and that others are walking past them and that some are children. Thank you for showing us what we don't know. We get one more question from the crowd. Do we have one more question? Okay, how did you come to Minneapolis?
How did I come to Minneapolis? It's a good question. Let me see if I can find a good answer for that. Well, it was just like a dream that you think. I mean, when I say a dream, it's like you don't even believe you're here. I didn't have a plan to be moving from my country at the beginning. So I think I mentioned my decision was like all of a sudden. And when I surrendered immigration, I knew I was coming to Minneapolis, well, to Minnesota, because there was my wife niece had been here for only like 3 months, and I never knew that she was gonna be a person I was gonna meet up here in Minneapolis, where at least I had a shelter, and I should say I would not be ashamed to say, where I used to sleep on a small mattress of a small crib where they have their kids. It's just like from let's say the mattress was like from just covered my back and my head. That was the rest of my body was like on the ground. So I never know what to expect. And I never even imagined that I was gonna experience the most coldest. I was like, what's winter like? And I remember I used to see this movie from the Home Alone, I think it's called. And I'm like, oh, this guy is like playing us. No, that's when I was a kid. And I never in my life I imagined I was gonna be ending up in that similar situation like him. So when winter came was like, oh my God, just help me. Lord help me, cannot do that. But yeah, I ended up here in Minneapolis. And that was the only person I knew, which was my wife niece. She was here. And I think sometimes I have learned that sometimes we complain about the situation we're passing through, but at the end of the tunnel, there's a light. And I think that when we recognize that God's plans are perfect, we get peace in our soul. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy to pass through this situation as immigrant. And it's not easy to understand God's plan. The process, the procedure is very difficult, it's painful. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say, but if that was the only way I think I found she was my niece, uh, my niece's wife was actually one of the reasons I ended up here. Because she was here and I thought it was like, okay, well, I know her at least. I'll make it there. But not knowing that life was not gonna be like that easy that I hope people think sometimes we have a saying in our country. And when we are here in the US and our family or our friends keep asking for money, they have this saying that, oh, you can easily find the dollars under the tree. So it's not the way some people believe. And a lot of people have this dream of coming to this country. It's a blessed country, it's a blessed nation. Because of what we live in our country, the poverty, you can see kids taking classes under a school that if it's raining, I mean, it doesn't make a difference if they're outside or inside, because the water is pouring inside the schools. If they have a shelter where to stay, they have a house, it doesn't make that difference. It's still the water's gonna just go into your mattress or whatever you're sleeping on is finally gonna just get wet. So I should say, being here, yes, it's a blessing. Even though it was difficult to make it here, even though it's not what you really expected, but your safety, you're even more safe here than in your own country, unfortunately. Because of the violence, and even because of the conditions you live on. Sometimes not having an even for what we eat in Guatemala or in our country is one tortilla. You have to wrap up your tortilla with some salt on top of it, and one tortilla is enough for the day. When here, we at least have work 3 times of food, I should say, a day. So we might not be millionaires, rich, but we are having the daily food we need to. And I'm really thankful to God and everyone who God has put in my way. And thanks once again.
I have one.
Yeah,
last thing.
one more thing.
So Candid Collective, Anna is pulling together because of winter, a clothing drive. So boots, coats, gloves, hats, and mittens, snow pants for children and for adults. And we're doing this on October 21. So if you have any spare outdoor wear that you don't use it anymore, children or adults, please, we need some. We need some to give away. So Anna will, you can take my phone number and I'd be happy to help pick that up. Thank you.
So yes, so Monica, yes, I am planning to be in touch with you and Anna, and announce a hat and clothes and what cold winter gear drive for our community. I look forward to being in touch with Anna and supporting it, and in a bare minimum that way. I have a couple of hats in my office that I'd like to give you just today as well. That were left over from a fundraiser that we did. I have to, I'm a pastor. I have to say that you are beloved children of God. And the pains of your country, of your journey, of your stay here is human doing. I am so grateful that God has brought us together. So we can give hats and coats and boots and gloves. You can go to a thrift store and buy out their whole stock and bring them in a trash bag for $50, right? Right. Do that. But is there anything else? You know that. So Monica, I'm looking at you. Hat and coat drive, systemic stuff, cool. How about for the two of you? Is there anything we can do that you could think of today to support and be with you? And I'm going to give you my number in case you think of something later.
Anything right now?
She doesn't think of something. No. Anything she'll keep it.
Yeah.
I have a question. I have an honest question. Her husband and her 5-year-old are now crossing into the U.S. in San Diego. There will be a plane tickets that we will have to purchase. I don't know how much they are. We initially thought that Anne would be driving down and meeting them and driving them back. She has gotten a little ill. She's not capable of making that journey. Anna knows Spanish. I do not know Spanish. Anna has a passport in case things go awry. I don't have a passport. Mine expired. So I'm thinking we have to buy 2 airline tickets together.
So those of you who are on our social justice collaboration team, I might suggest that you consider this ask as a potential offering. I cannot promise financials, and I can promise consideration, and at the very least, prayer. I will be leading a prayer for you and your family, Patricia, today in worship. And I am also encouraging everyone in this room, everyone who is watching it, yeah, you, watching it on your computer at home today or later on YouTube. Consider how you might support the Camden Collective and folks who are coming here because their country is unsafe. As we recognize a lot of the instability and violence in South America is directly associated to our government's involvement, as we have heard throughout this series. We're almost out of time, and I have a gift for you. It's little. It's a sticker. It says you are loved. It's not going to solve any of your problems. But at bare minimum, I hope you know that there is a community of hundreds who are praying with you today and will continue to be here as we are able. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Can we just clap? Thank you all for being here today, for sharing your story, being brave and vulnerable, and God bless you for the days ahead. Yeah, we got one more, Lucille. We're out of time. What's up?
Where do we give the money?
Where do we give money to get a plane ticket?
I mean, we can get it.
To me, I guess.
Okay. How about a check that Camden collected on that work?
What do you think, Monica? Would that be helpful, or do we want to like?
Yes,
Okay.
Camden Collective is a 501c3. I don't know if she can get plane tickets.
So how about this? If you are so moved and you would like to contribute to the plane tickets for Patricia's kids and husbands, I'm going to invite you to put a check in the offering plate today with a memo line that says, what should we say? Plane tickets. Patricia plane tickets.
And write it to St. Luke then?
Write it to St. Luke, memo line, Patricia plane tickets. I will talk to Darla, our accountant, and let her know that this is money we are raising for a particular cause. And we're gonna bring some money in today. And our wider systems of justice work may be able to cover more, but at the very least, it sounds like several folks here I see a few hands that several folks here are going to be giving money for those plane tickets. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, God bless. All right, well, we're out of time for today. Thank you all again. Thank you to the crew for coming up, Patricio, Melky, and Monica. Gracias, and we'll see you next week.